Hey guys, George here, and I am going to be showing off a bit of the 5.1, I guess, update. I'm calling it the Thank God 2016 is about to be freaking over update. It's coming out during the Christmas sale, and well, it's got some new features. So I'm inside a station right now, which is a new station that has been added. Okay, you know what? Screw these guys. I don't have a weapon for these guys. I'm getting out of here. The new update contains mostly content for the existing world zones. And I'm going to teleport around a bit and show off some of them. So this is one of the new prefabs. It's a maze which generates slightly differently every time. But there are prefabs that have scripted events and space dungeon, that sort of stuff, and I've seeded them all throughout the sort of the orange zone of the map, which is the zone intended for playing during Phase 1 and 2 of the story. Phase 3 of the story is going to take place down in that red zone, so that's kind of just not developed yet. Going to be working on that after the Christmas break, if there is such a thing as a Christmas break. One of the new additions is right here. If I teleport myself, sorry, I'm using debugging commands. There are gates now. So one of the big complaints was the sort of the mobility of getting around from system to system was a pain in the butt, and so we have a couple of ideas how to solve this. One of them is going to come in a later patch, but this one is we've created gates, and the gates are sort of spread randomly. There's about 4 of them in every colored region of the map. And go away. Talking here. That's right. Unknown. Anyways, so here's how to use the gates. Dock with a gate. And of course, I think there's going to be monsters inside. Yep, there is. And they spawned on top of each other. They aren't supposed to do that, but who cares? Makes it easier for me to get rid of them. You don't actually have to clear out the monsters, it's just slightly easier. Gates will be activated if you enter the server room. You see the lights have stopped flickering there. That's because the gate is activated now. And I'm going to go out back to my ship. Later there will be a quest. I'm the one who has to write all the dialogue. You gonna write it? No, I don't think so. So, see, lights are lit up now, and if you fly into the gate, or rather if you're just anywhere near the gate, what you'll see is that the gate's icon is orange now. And anywhere on the map where you see one of those orange icons, so long as you're hovering over the gate in this system, just find the orange icon, click on it, you'll be teleported there instantly. So that's the new gate system. And then take a quick trip out this airlock so that I can show you the last new feature. Goodbye, ship. The last new feature that's in this patch is the farming system. And farming is something that was in our game previously, although it was always these crystal farming game. The idea is that these crystals grow in the various asteroids of this sector, and people farm them to sort of harvest the matter that they create. And we had in the past a farming minigame which was a separate screen that you would go to when accessing a farm plot, and it had these sort of crystals that would grow on a grid, and it was a somewhat simplistic system, and I never really liked exactly how it worked. I didn't like the idea of going to a separate screen. So I've rewritten the whole system. Mostly I did this because I felt like it. And this is kind of what the crystal farm looks like, I guess, on this station. Oh, also I've redone the interior layout of the home station, which, well, it's got a farming area now, basically. All of the new world features, like the new station interior, will require making a new save file, because it's got to generate the new station, like the station interior that you currently have as part of your save file. So leave that up to you, but this patch is compatible with old saves. It's just that the new world content, like the new station interior, will only generate if you make a new save. Anyways, back to crystal farming. The crystals grow in real time, even when you're not in the station. So, and if you look, each crystal has this weird diagram to it showing its stages of growth. The reason that so these are crystal spores. I can use them to plant a new crystal, and then if I select a mining laser, which now the mining laser is finally useful, you can see sort of the process of the crystal growing. These crystals will grow in real time, so they don't grow super fast. So, what the idea is that you kind of plant your crop, if you will, or even just plant one, and then go out on a space adventure. And when you come back from your space adventure, your crystals have grown a bunch, and you can harvest them, or weed them, take out the old ones, plant new ones, whatever. The point is that it's supposed to be growing persistently while you're out adventuring, so that when you come back to the station, you have something to do. And what's interesting about the crystals is that this diagram actually represents this diagram, which is, you can see there's this new icon in your inventory here. And what this represents is sort of the genetic code that defines how your crystal grows. These are all sort of crystal genes. Collectors collect energy, growth genes cause the other genes to be constructed using the energy, bulk will increase the value of your crystal when you harvest it, and so on and so forth. And the idea is that these genes have to be collected out in the world. So when you're flying around, you find a space dungeon, you go in, you battle the monsters. Some of the loot that's in that dungeon now might be genes for your crystal, and so basically it produces a loop where exploring gives you new crystal genes, and then you can sort of always increase the yield of your crop or whatever. In terms of how useful these crystals are, don't expect them to be super useful this patch, because they are meant for Phase 3 of the story. As soon as we get this patch debugged and people stop complaining about all the stuff that's broken in this version, I'm going to go back and start working on the Phase 3 patch, which is going to be that red zone with a whole bunch of new pirate-themed content. And the pirates are going to, there's going to be stations over there which accept crystals as a currency for some stuff. So the harvesting of these crystals will give you a new currency, which is crystal shards, and the crystal shards will be useful later in the game. They aren't useful now. So this is really, kind of pointless. But the system's in, and it's kind of fun, and if you like farming for farming's sake, I encourage you to check it out. That being said, the only other improvements for this patch are maybe some lighting changes that you've seen in the ship interior, the fact that we've changed inventory slots to be reference-based instead of being an actual slot. So this is no longer actually an actual slot anymore. I can't click on it or do anything, but if I can click any item, and so sort of a more standard way of doing things, right? Before, this was an actual slot that you could move items to and from, but now it's not anymore. And that's about it. Small improvements here and there, but check out the patch notes to see what they are. And hope you enjoy the, thank God it's finally almost 2017 update.